Good morning and welcome to our Tuesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here are some words of wisdom for us to ponder and cogitate on for the day, hopefully leading to some longer-term shifts in our communication such that people understand more clearly where we're coming from and we have the skill set to inquire more clearly about where they're coming from. So we have our next section in Taking the War Out of Our Words, The Art of Powerful Non-Defensive Communication. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome, by Sharon Ellison. And we've been slowly working our way through this book. And I think this next section, which ends this particular chapter, is really powerful. So, and not that the rest of it hasn't been, because we've certainly been making some headway on habit patterns in our speaking that really haven't served us very well, and time for some new patterns to be installed. So in this section, we are going to be on page 142, about halfway down. It's called Clarification. And the gist behind it is, when we come into a conversation, we don't just come into a conversation free. We come into a conversation dragging with us, toting along our bag of life experiences, beliefs, wounds, all kinds of garbage, right? And that gets tossed into the middle of the conversation, as does the other person or people who are coming into that conversation. They bring their baggage too. So it's not like I'm talking to you. It's like my baggage is talking to your baggage, both sets of baggage triggering off all kinds of a cascade of reactions. And yep, good. I'm glad this book has helped. It's helped me a ton too. Even just to be able to see where I've run amok, right? Because a lot of this stuff, and she makes this point in this section, is subconscious. We're not even aware of it. We've schlepped it along for so long, we don't even remember that it's there. So part of this section is also the ability to realize what's in that bag of crap that we're hauling with us and make conscious decisions about whether or not we want to continue to tote it along in our lives. So that's kind of where we're going today. So again, page 142 at the bottom, clarification. There are many times when our understanding about another person's meaning or intention is still not accurate, even after we've asked some questions. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome. We're on page 142. Often in our interactions, we witness only the tip of the iceberg. And that actually is the first session that I have with any new client. That's one of the things I show them is an iceberg picture. And I talk about that piece that's above the waterline is our conscious mind. It's what we're aware of. The monolithic chunk below the level of awareness, our subconscious mind, is actually roughly 95% of our consciousness. So again, we like to think we're all this conscious and woke and running our show, and there's all this crap down there that never sees the light of day, but it's operational. So this section of the book, I'm hoping, will help us with that. We can't see the bulk of the issue that is hidden below. The body of information, emotions, beliefs, and previous behaviors. I'm going to put in there wounds. A defensive reaction will not reveal the hidden information, but a non-defensive statement can take us to it quickly. So welcome to whomever else has popped on. So I'm going to read that sentence again, because here's the key to the cabinet, guys. A defensive reaction on our part will not reveal the hidden information in the other person's bag of stuff, but a non-defensive statement can take us to it quickly. If we speak non-judgmentally, other people will often provide us with more information, even if our interpretation of their behavior is inaccurate. Yes, that stepping back and not immediate reacting, the knee-jerk thing, makes all the difference. So let's keep going here. So remember Jason and Trina. That was the young married couple where it was time for supper. He was late getting home. It was his turn to cook. She got really upset, and it devolved into a fight when he walked in the door, and he didn't understand why she was upset. So Here we go, and we're going to find out why each of them reacted the way they did. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Instead of attacking and accusing Jason, Trina might have expressed herself more non-defensively. I've been frustrated because I didn't know where you were. I thought you forgot you were going to fix dinner, and I had no plan in mind for fixing it myself. In response, Jason might have said, I am planning to fix it. I believe I have made dinner every time I have said I would. If I'm late and it's my night to make dinner, I usually fix something quick, which is what I had planned to do tonight. I don't understand why you don't trust me to follow through, and it really frustrates me. Speaking his truth. These statements provide the clarity Jason and Trina need to begin to resolve the issue. Based on a similar interchange, the couple did begin to get to the root of the problem. Despite Jason's memory of always making dinner when he said he would, Trina remembered 2 recent occasions when he was late, and she assumed responsibility by beginning dinner before he got home. When he had protested, she had said, "It's okay, I don't mind." She stuffed her frustration until the 3rd incident and then blew up when he walked through the door. That sound familiar to anyone? Certainly does to me. Jason didn't think of those incidents as breaking his commitment because he had clearly intended to make dinner and had even offered to take over the preparations once he arrived home. He said that if the situation were reversed, he would not have felt pressure to begin cooking unless he really wanted to. So he didn't realize it upset Trina to start the meal. Jason had resented how nervous Trina became about his fulfilling his commitments because he felt he was basically very responsible. Since he resented her mistrust, he would resist picking up the phone to let her know he would be late. Doing so, he felt, would somehow confirm her false assumptions about him being untrustworthy. And because Jason didn't call, Trina's tension increased, as did her feeling that he was inconsiderate about keeping commitments. By using non-defensive statements, Trina and Jason could each express memories and reactions that allowed them to gain clarity and understanding. When Jason said he didn't understand her lack of trust, Trina thought carefully and realized the source of her much of her nervousness. Her father, occasionally and unpredictably, would arrive home intoxicated and irritable. Good morning, Jobelle. Glad you're here. On evenings when he was late, her mother would begin anxiously preparing the meal, hoping to feed him as soon as he arrived. Yet if she started the meal too early, the food would be overdone, and he would be irritable about that. Trina was replaying her mother's anxiety about her husband's unpredictability. When Jason realized the depth of pain underlying Trina's reactions, he was able to offer comfort and support. It wasn't about him anyway. It was about her history with her parents. Good morning, Renee. Glad you are here. As Jason listened to Trina describe her hurt, he realized he had resisted the simple courtesy of calling to let her know he'd be late. As he thought about why, he too made a vital connection. No matter how hard he had tried to please his parents, they had been highly critical of him. In seeking their approval, he had become overly, very responsible. But he would show his resentment of their criticism in small ways, such as not calling when he was late. Jason realized that when Trina expressed mistrust, he had subconsciously begun to repeat his defensive response to his parents. He too felt sad when he realized that he was beginning to see Trina, like his parents, as never thinking he was good enough. So you can see all the baggage they're schlepping along and throwing into their brand new marriage that has no relevance right there. But it's their history and they bring it with them. And until they spoke about it, they didn't even realize for themselves what was going on, much less what was going on with their partner. By using non-defensive statements, we can turn even a mundane argument into a genuinely enlightening and healing conversation. Instead of letting this issue become progressively worse and spread to other areas of their relationship, Trina and Jason were able to resolve it and achieve deeper intimacy. It made a significant difference in the kind of foundation established by this newly married couple. Frankly, I think that's a lot of what happens in therapy. When I would do couples therapy or when I would work with one or the other of someone who is struggling with a relationship issue, that was really my role. Tease out what's the baggage here that's creating the problem. And oftentimes there was maybe a 5% relevance to what was actually going on in that marriage or that relationship at that point. But all this deeper stuff that until the person realized it was there and it was operating was poisoning the relationship. So now here's the next section. Quantum leaps. The preceding examples have demonstrated how a non-defensive statement enables both the speaker and the receiver to make quantum leaps in personal growth. Really, it's shining a light on what's going on here that really needs to be healed. What's the old baggage that's getting in the way here? The remainder of this chapter will focus on how such statements increase our sense of freedom and personal strength. It's just several more paragraphs. The act of making a direct, vulnerable statement often causes the person to remark, "I feel so free after I said it." Yes, you're no longer carrying this baggage with you. Excuse me. It's as if a person has been bogged down or anchored in one spot and is now able to leave that spot and move freely to a new one. How cool is that? You get unstuck. Keeping so much of what we think and feel inside us is analogous to carrying around a heavy bundle of things we want to hide. The bundle keeps us from moving easily, but if anyone comes close and wants to see what is inside, we fight that person off. We may know very clearly and precisely what its contents are, or, having kept things hidden for so very long, we may no longer know ourselves what is in it. Once we put the contents of our bundle out on the table, we can examine and identify them. We no longer have to spend energy hiding them, carrying them, or resisting anyone who wants to see them. Think of the amount of energy that saves when it's not having to be hidden, right, or schlepped around. If part of it belongs to someone else, we can give it back, whether the person wants it or not. And that's a beautiful tool, a little ritual. Let's do it right now, okay? So I want you to think about something that was put on you, maybe by a parent, a teacher, whatever. You're never going to amount to anything. You're too bouncy. You're too loud. You're too this, not enough that. You're not smart enough to go to college. Whatever the bullshit was, okay? Think about that now. It is not yours. So I want you to imagine that you're holding it in your hands, however it appears to you. It might be like a brick, might be like a noose, it might be like a blob of black yucky stuff, whatever it is. And I want you to kindly and lovingly hand it back to the person who said that to you. Doesn't matter if they're alive, if they're deceased, whatever. Hand it back to them. Here, this is yours. I've been carrying it around for a long time. I no longer want it. Doesn't matter if they take it or not. If they won't take it, drop it at their feet. Leave it behind. It is not yours. All right? And you can do this anytime around anything. You can make whatever kind of a ritual you want about this. You could write a letter. "Dear Mom, I'm handing back to you, blah, blah, blah. Enclosed in this letter is the yuck that you put on me, and I no longer want it. Thanks. I bless you on your way." Burn the letter. Shred it. Whatever you want to do with it. Rip it up furiously. Whatever works for you. But do the ritual, some kind of a ritual, handing back garbage that was placed on you that is not yours. Well, she's my smart one. She's my funny one. She's my, whatever it is. Here's the black sheep. All that garbage. Not yours. Hand it back. We don't have control whether or not it is accepted or thrown away. We can keep what we find valuable, return what belongs to others, discard the rest, and move on, free of a cumbersome burden. Being able to move freely also allows us to experience our own strength. Excuse me. Instead of hunkering down in a psychological corner, hiding our experience and perceptions in a misguided attempt to protect ourselves, we have openly declared, "I don't have anything to hide. Here it all is." As my friend Deb would say, warts and all. Such openness empowers us, even if the other person does not value what we've said. So A lot of this is the Brene Brown stuff, the shame that we carry about whatever, being vulnerable enough to put it out there and free ourselves from it. In the movie Powder, a young man born with an advanced state of consciousness tells a teenage friend that people have no need to hide themselves or lie. It's possible to talk to someone without any lies, without sarcasms or deceptions, without exaggerations or any things that people use to confuse the truth. Wide-eyed, she responds, I don't know a single person who does that. That's what this whole book is about. We're going to become those people who do this, and it's going to spread like a ripple. I think we can do it, and to a far greater degree than any of us have in the past. When we stop misusing statements to bolster our defenses, we give our words an entirely different kind of power. I believe the essence of what Georgius said, the power of speech has the same effect on the condition of the soul as the application of drugs is to the state of bodies. Some ways of speaking bewitch the soul with a kind of evil persuasion, others instill courage. I believe non-defensive statements instill courage and give us freedom. Amen and hallelujah. Okay? So, our mission, I gotta find my card here so I can mark the page. Our mission is being willing to be vulnerable and put that stuff out there and make the non-defensive statements. When you, I feel, because. Fill in the blanks. When you are late to make dinner, I feel unimportant because it mirrors when my dad would come home drunk and my mother was scurrying around trying to keep him from blowing up. Whatever. Fill in the blanks. When you, I feel, because. Gives a ton of information, especially that because part, okay? But the next part of the book, chapter 9, is formats for making non-defensive statements. Because it's one thing for us to say, yeah, we just need to do these great non-defensive statements, blah, blah, blah. Say it non-defensively. What the hell does that mean? Give me some words. What am I going to say, etc. So, as I begin to look at that next section, again, we have more little vignettes, more stories, more conversations back and forth where we can pick out words that are going to be helpful for us when we are going to practice. So what we're practicing today is if you have anything that you've kind of done, it's okay, it's fine, no big deal, no worries, blah, blah, I want you to go back and speak your truth about that. Maybe you call somebody and say, you know that conversation we had last week where I agreed I was going to haul your garbage can out every week because you don't want to? I'm rethinking that. Whatever it is, take some risks. And I think what you're going to find is they're not as risky as you think they are, and that they do indeed give you that, it's off my chest. I've let this go. I've spoken it. I'm done. Even if someone gets their nose a little bit out of joint, you still feel good that you've reclaimed your strength, your power, your willingness to advocate for you. All right? So that's it for today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. If you would like to receive these early morning intuitive guidances via email, send me your email address. Good morning, Diane. Just send me the word yes. That's my cue to add you to my YEMIG list, and every day you'll get this via email. You can still watch me on Facebook. It's also on YouTube. It's on LinkedIn. But if you want to have it come to you in an email when you can watch it at your leisure, just send me the word yes to Bonnie at empowermentandpurpose, all little letters all together, .com. Bonnie at empowermentandpurpose.com. Or if you have any other questions, just shoot them to me in an email and I'll give you my opinion. Have a great day. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.